Welcome, welcome. Mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, gender. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's what happens. If you go back, you can see exactly when you started to shut the world out. You can go back and see exactly when you started becoming cold towards things and people. So too is it in the other direction. You begin to see yourself as you warm up, as you blossom. You begin to see that in yourself. It is absolutely amazing to watch yourself as you blossom. Just by practicing. Get in the mirror if you must. And as you're doing your hair, as you're brushing your teeth, and you look at yourself, some days when I look in the mirror, I go, "Oh, you are so cute. Oh, yes, you are." Mind you, I do say that to my chickens as well, but oh, snap. You know, you're so funny. Even if I'm the only one who laughs at my jokes, at least I laugh and I release endorphins in my body, thereby reducing my pain. Speaking of pain, this man came through the till last night with his wife. And he was rubbing his elbow and he says, "Ow, that really hurts." She's like, "Well, stop touching it." But we touch it because it hurts. Yes? Because touch soothes. And I said, "Sir, can I touch you?" I said, "Can I show you what to do to help ease that pain over there?" And he goes, "Yes." Without hesitation, he said, "Yes." So he presented his injured arm to me. I said, "I don't want that one." I said, "It's injured." I said, "We want the other one." And I began to massage on the other arm where his pain was. As I'm talking to him, I said, "You see this spot?" I said, "It's the mirror of the other one." So as you're sitting there, you could put something warm on it. You could put something warm on it, or you could use one of those little roller thingies, just a little tiny roller one, like for massage, on that spot. Or she can do it for you. And by the time all of this took like maybe 2 minutes, if that. And then he starts to move it, the other arm, and he goes, "Funny, it feels better." I said, "Of course it feels better, sir." And she's like, "Really, does it?" He goes, "Yes." I said, "Well, that's all that book learning." And we had a good chuckle. I said, "Remember to do it, though." I said, "She can always help you. Remember to do it." I said, "If you want to get real fancy, like you can use that knee on the opposite side of your body for your elbow. You can sure do that." He goes, "Oh, this is exciting." I said, "Yes." I said, "The body is beautiful, isn't it?" Because nobody wants to be in pain, guys. It sucks. I'm not showing you a way to help you through things because I know more than you. I don't know more than you. I just understand that nobody wants to be in pain. And if I tell you the principles as within, so without, is going to help you to ease your pain, would you not want to attempt it? Would you not want to test it out for yourself? And sometimes it does take us a moment or two. Sometimes that moment could be a year. Sometimes it could be 2 years. Sometimes it could be 6 months, 3 weeks. But rest assured, as you go through the change, recognize and acknowledge and celebrate it. Why? Because you no longer have to deal with the pain of before. Is that not enough to rouse your sensibilities? To make you curious to test these things for yourself? One of the best ways I've found at testing ourselves is to look for the coincidence. Because remember what a coincidence is. A coincidence is when the interior matches the exterior. When you say, oh my God, I was just thinking about you. For instance, I told you about my chicken purse. Uh-huh. I said, oh, that's what I need. I need a carrier. I need a purse for my chicken so that he can take a lot of the pressure off of his legs and his spine and everything. And just rest in that, suspended, in the purse. And then a day or two later, this has been going on for a bit because I've always wanted to find a way to help him, because I did have one, but it wasn't very comfortable for him. And so I didn't do it anymore. But I knew there was a better way of doing it. I just didn't know how. But I put it on the back burner. But then a couple days ago, it really came back. And I said, I've really got to get something to help him. And wouldn't you know, coincidentally, I was scrolling through Instagram. And this woman goes, oh my God, don't you just love my new purse? And all you heard was, that was the chicken in the purse. And I said, that's exactly what I need. It matched the exact image I had in my mind. And I went out and I got it. Well, I ordered it. And then an old workmate and I were talking via text. And they mentioned something about benefits. And I said, well, you got a couple of options. So I go to work the next day and I usually collect the mail from the mailbox. There's only one thing in the mailbox. A little pamphlet that says, don't have employee benefits? I was just speaking about it the night before, via text. And the first thing we say is, oh my God, what a coincidence. A coincidence is when the internal that you were dealing with matches the external. It is correspondence, not coincidence. So that is one of the best tests that we can do, and one of the most fun ones that we can do to show yourself that what you're thinking, you do it all the time. When you say, oh my God, I was just thinking about you. I was just gonna call you. As within, so without. We do it all the time. So why then, when you argue with somebody or somebody's mean to you, why is it then that we cannot see within ourselves to understand that we projected it out there? Because we have this great disbelief that I would never do that to myself. Well, certainly not. You never would deliberately, but unwittingly you sure would. What would cause it to happen unwittingly? Because we don't know. That is why. So that's why there's no judgment in it. But this is now a time of celebration that you don't have to remain the same. Nor do you have to end it all because it's not working out for you. I tell you, those thoughts emerge because of the mood. You can't be thinking happy thoughts or being in a good mood and just have something be totally off the cuff. No. As within, so without. The thing that is habitual, that you always go to, that one opinion that you have most often. This is where we live our lives from. You have someone with a go-getter attitude. They always see an opportunity even when you don't see one, because that is what they truly hold as fact act in their minds. That is their mood. That they see opportunities and they take advantage of the opportunities that they see. Good, bad, or indifferent. It is how we live our lives. But because we don't know, that's where the mental torture comes in, because we don't know that we're doing it to ourselves. You see, all anyone has to do is to make you feel, to leave an impression upon you. That's what people have to, that's all it is. Just make you feel something. Good, bad, or indifferent, just to rouse you. Just to rouse you. And depending on how you respond to the rousing, you've just told much about yourself. And as I said to you yesterday, it is far better for one to know themselves and act accordingly than to be known by someone else and be manipulated. Right? It is best to know yourself, because that is all there is to know. And when you know and understand the self, you will know and understand the quote-unquote other, which is how empathy is formed. Because you know yourself. You can relate. You can feel what they feel. Because you can recognize it. You can read between the lines. It's not some magical superpower. It is one that you develop by way of use, by practice. But some people think that being an empath is a bad thing. Good and bad, they think. Oh my God, I just feel everybody so much. No, you just simply scratch the surface. It is when you don't know what to do with that. You have to put it through the filter of the principles. Because if you walk around feeling everything from everyone, whew, that is quite the burden. It is quite heavy. So to lighten the load, comprehend what it is. Projections. We are always projecting from the inside out. We go to the cinema and they've got well, they don't have, you know how they used to have the old time, but they had the roll of film and you'd run it through the projector and it would show up on the screen. If there was a scratch on the film, you could touch the screen all you want. That scratch isn't going anywhere because the scratch is not on the screen. The scratch is on the film. The scratch is what's being projected. This is why Neville Goddard can say, you try to break the mirror to change your face. You cannot break the mirror to change your face. You must change from the inside. Angela, you keep telling me I need to change from the inside. If you tell it to me one more time, I'll probably choke you. Well, let me tell you how to do it. What are you presently doing that you do not like? You don't want to do it anymore. You tired of being sad? Are you tired of being whatever that is? One does not need to be dramatic to say, fine, I'll end it all. No, stop that. You don't need to do that. You see, because we think it is final, but it is not. It is not the body. It is what? The body is just reflecting. The body is just reflecting. So if you get rid of the body, you're still going to reflect it. So if you see that you don't like something about yourself, I'm not talking physiologically, that's your DNA. That's your DNA. I'm talking behavior. If you say, I don't like being angry all the time, well, then what would you prefer to be? Less angry? So what is less angry? Calmer, more peaceful. And so what does that feel like? How would you feel if you were living and going through the day and you were peaceful instead of easily agitated? How would you see yourself then? How would people respond to you? That is how you change it. With that simple question, what would I be doing if I were more calm? But you'd be doing something that's natural to you. Some people like to ride their bike. Some people like to go for walks. Some people like to read. Some people like to draw. Some people dance. Some people talk. What would you be doing naturally that would show you that you were calmer? That you were like a duck and just the water just ran off your back, What would that be like for you? And you start to see it in your mind's eye. Just like if you were annoyed with humanity and you saw in your mind's eye you were playing Grand Theft Auto, but in real life, yeah, you see? That's what we do as people. We play it out in our minds. So I'm telling you how to do it because you're already doing it. You are already doing it. You get in there, and what would I be doing? What comes naturally to me? What would I be doing? And you start to rehearse it. You see, because sometimes we think that we are pretending. We never pretend. We rehearse, though. We rehearse. And when we rehearse, what do? Act it out. So then rehearse. Because then you're going to act out the new thing that you say you want to be instead. Angela, you make it sound so easy. Do you want it to be harder? You don't think you've struggled enough? The only thing you need to do is persist in it. That's it. Just persist in this new way. It is what I told you about baby steps. Baby steps only start out small, but they do not remain as baby steps. Then they become adult steps. So you mature as you go through these things. Do not grudge where you are at. Do not judge where you are at. Acknowledge the fact that you are at a stage of unfoldment. And when you look upon that stage of unfoldment, you'll be able to see what is unfolding. Well, through your behavior. This is how, when you're a profiler and based upon the crime, they're going to tell you if it's escalating or not. Because you can see it. You look at where it started out. You look at where and how the first crime started. What, you think anything is beyond the principles? Everything follows principle. You look at how the first crime was committed. And then you compare it to step 2, the next one. And third, because he's not been caught yet, right? The whoever. And you look at it and you can see where it is escalating. Because you can see the unfolding of it. And because you can see the unfolding of it, you know what type of person you're dealing with. You know that there's rage here. Not uncontrolled rage, though. Oh, no, not at all. Because you'll be able to discern that from what you look at. You can learn a lot about the person when they do what they do. This is why the observation of the evidence is important. What is the evidence? Your behavior. Look at it, and you will see your point of origin, and you will see how you progressed in that stage. But you have to look at it with a non-judgmental eye. You just look at it for the very fact of learning yourself. This is what Marketing 101 does. It observes the behavior of humanity. This is what an algorithm does. It observes the pattern and the rhythm of your choices, because your choices will tell the person who is observing you why you made it. And we try to hack the algorithm. You can't hack the algorithm. The algorithm is a reflection of you. You see these things on the timeline. You have 3 little dots up there in the upper right-hand corner. You can hit those 3 dots and say, not interested. Right? It is exactly the same thing that we do psychologically in our mental attitude. You come across a situation, you go, ooh, hard pass, but thanks though. And you don't entangle with it. Because the moment you entangle with it, it means you want more of it. And if you're just being around it and entangling yourself in it and participating in it, whether you hate it or love it, is irrelevant. The fact is you interacted with it. And because you interacted with it, you want it. If you didn't want it, you would ignore it. You would not emotionally get involved with it. So you understand how the algorithm works? It is the principle of rhythm. So here's all these things watching you. You're not watching you. I told you that yesterday. The algorithm does not judge you. The algorithm just records you. Period. Nothing more. Because once it records you, it learns you. And because it learns you, it can predict you. Why, of course. Do you not see that you have the ability to do the exact same thing for yourself? Anyway, again, you don't have to believe me. I don't need you to believe me. My true desire and passion is for you to see yourself and to understand yourself without judgment. Oh my God. The moment you feel guilty and ashamed of what you have done, now that's where you're living from. Shame and guilt. Ask any Catholic. If you're Catholic, well, you know how it is. If the cap fits. That's what all religions do. Prey on your guilt. And then you end up living from that place. And when you live from that place of guilt, now all your experiences come out that way. So what are you going to do? Are you going to practice? Are you going to practice? That's all that's left to be done. And how does one practice? With a simple step. What would I be doing in reality if I were the man or the woman I wanted to be? What would I be doing? Let me rehearse what I would be doing. And that's it. Begin to rehearse it. And you will have to act it out, my beautiful friends. But you just got to stay faithful to the rehearsal. How are you supposed to memorize your lines? Oh, my child. Anywho, I don't know who's on YouTube this morning, but there's a couple of you there. So hey, y'alls, in these YouTube streets. Lesigo is here in Twitter. It's so good to see you. Fanbase, who's kicking it with us? My sweet Casey. Ray is in the house. Michael, hello. And my lovely Miss McQueen. You're here. Ah, Big Mike was in the house too. What? 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 Listen, I love you. More than words. But because I speak, I have to use words. Right? Anyhow, go forth today and ask yourself, what would I be doing in reality if I were the man or the woman I wanted to be? And you will start to see. And as you begin to see it, you'll either go, oh yeah, this one. Oh, wait. Oh, no, but this one's better. Oh, I absolutely love this one. I will do it instead. Yeah, this is what I'd be doing in reality if I were the man or the woman I wanted to be. So now that I've chosen what it is, let me rehearse. And the rehearsal is what you're doing the same way every time, which forms a what now? A habit. Because what are we? We say it all the time. Oh my God, we're creatures of habit. That is the principle of rhythm at work. Oh, yes. And the way in which you express your habit is compensated by rhythm. So how far you go to the left is how far you come back to the right. Your level of intensity is always matched by way of rhythm because the pendulum swings. Which is correspondence, by the way. As within, so without. That movement, that swing, that rocking. Oh, it is brilliant. Anywho, enjoy the weekend and rehearse. Rehearse because you know the outcome of rehearsal. The outcome of rehearsal. And what if you get the lines wrong, what do? You lock yourself in your room and you don't eat for days? No. You do it again. You rehearse your lines till you only get them right. And that, my friends, oh, oh, hello, I see you. Big Mike. I see you. I trust that it makes sense. As always, I'll see you on Monday, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Fanbase. And you know, it is fitting to be a most beautiful day. Oh, oh, oh. I have nothing more to say. He said it all. Mwah.